What if I told you that the thing that you're most ashamed of, the mistake, the version of you that you cringe at, the thing that you did that you wish you could erase, what if I told you that thing has absolutely zero authority over who you are becoming? Not a little authority, zero. And what if I told you that the people judging you for it, the ones who bring it up, the ones who use it against you, who seem to remember your worst moments with extraordinary clarity, they're not doing it because they are better than you in any ways. They're doing it because it makes them feel better about themselves. And you have been sitting in shame, you've been shrinking so that other people can feel comfortable. Not anymore. Hi, my name is Blossom, and I'm here to make sure that you never settle for a life that is less than the life that you deserve. Today we're going to be talking about your past, specifically why it does not define you, why it never did, and why letting it run your life is one of the most expensive things that you will ever do to yourself. This one is very personal to me. This one is very loud, and I need you to really hear it. Let's go to chapter 1. Never, ever, 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 and I mean ever, let your past define you. I don't care what you did. I don't care what you said. I don't care who you were. I don't care what you believed. I don't care what choices you made. I don't care what situations you found yourself in. I don't care if you look back at the past version of yourself and you feel a complete, 180. Like you don't even recognize that past version. But maybe you don't even align with anything that she stood for. You don't even understand how she made those decisions. She was still you, and you are still here. And you know what that means? It means something. And the thing that I need you to say plainly, or I need to say plainly, is that every single person that you have ever admired, every person looks like they have it together, every person who seems polished and they seem put together and like they've never ever made a wrong turn, has a past. They have made mistakes that they are not proud of. They have said things that they wish they could take back. They have done things that if you knew about them, it would make you raise your eyebrows. You'd be like, nigga, what? Every single one. The only difference between them and you is not the mistakes. It is the story that they've decided to tell themselves about that mistake. It is whether they let those moments become a life essence or a chapter that they learned from and they moved past. You are not your worst moments. You are not even the sum of your worst moments. You are a living, breathing, growing human being, and as long as you are still growing, then your past has no jurisdiction over your future. Now let's go to chapter 2. I want to understand why this happens because I think naming the mechanism behind something usually helps it to dismantle it. Why do we take our mistakes and then turn them into permanent indictment of our character? Why do we replay them? Why do we carry them like luggage that we were never meant to keep? Part of it is what psychologists call the self-consistency bias. Our brains are wired to create coherent narratives about who we are. And once we attach a label, to ourselves, like I'm someone who does XYZ, we unconsciously filter every experience through that lens and find evidence to confirm it. So if you make a mistake or you made a mistake and then you concluded, I'm a bad person, your brain will work over time to prove that story true, even if it isn't. Part of it is also shame, and there was a researcher who did decades of work on shame and was very clear on this. Shame is the belief that you are flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. Guilt usually says, I did something bad, while shame will say something like, I'm bad. And shame, unlike guilt, does not motivate change. It paralyzes it, it isolates it, it makes you smaller. You cannot grow from a place of believing that you are fundamentally broken. You can only grow from a place of believing that you are fundamentally worthy of better, of change, of another chance. Now let's go to chapter 3. Okay, this is the part that I need you to really sit with, because I think understanding this will change how much power that you give other people and other people's judgments. Most people who judge you for your mistakes are doing it to feel better about themselves. I know that it sounds cynical, but you need to stay with me, because the psychology here is actually well documented social comparison theory. It was first developed by Leon Festinger in 1954, and it shows that humans consistently evaluate themselves in relation to others, and that downward comparison, which is comparing yourself to someone who appears to be doing worse, is one of the most common ways that people temporarily boost their own self-esteem. So when someone brings up your past, with that particular energy, that, that relish, that remember when that they can't quite hide the satisfaction, what you are actually witnessing is that insecurity in them that is doing its work. They need your mistake to stay big so that they can feel okay about their own. That is someone whose opinion deserves to take up space in your body. That is someone who is struggling with their own stuff and has found a convenient way to not look at it. Now, let me give the other side, because I'm not going to pretend that, okay, this is universally true. Sometimes people bring up your past because they are genuinely hurt by something that you said, because maybe they are still processing a wound that involved you, that is different and that deserves acknowledgement and not maybe dismissal. So if you hurt someone, sitting without accountability is part of growth. It is not the same as marinating in shame forever, though. Accountability is about the action. Shame is about your worth as a person. One will lead you forward and the other will just keep you stuck. The people who judge you for their own ego, that's the group of people that we are liberating you from today. Chapter 4. I want to give you something today that I don't think anyone in your life has said loudly enough. You are allowed to change, fully, completely, and without apology. You are allowed to have been someone you are not proud of, and you are allowed to no longer be that person. You are allowed to have made choices that don't represent your values and to live differently now. You are allowed to outgrow your worst chapters without dragging them into every new room you enter. There's a version of taking accountability that is healthy, which is you acknowledging what happened, you making amends where you can, you committing to doing differently. That version is powerful and that version is necessary. And there's a version of taking accountability that is actually self-flagellation, where you keep punishing yourself long after the lesson has been learned, long after you've changed, long after everyone else has moved on, because somewhere deep down inside you, you decided that, okay, you specifically don't deserve to be forgiven by yourself or by anyone else. And that version, it is not noble, it is not humble, it is actually a way of staying stuck. Because as long as you're in the punishment loop, you don't have to fully commit to who you are becoming. The past will become a comfortable excuse for not showing up for your future. And you have things to do. You have too many things to do. You literally don't have time for this. Chapter 5. I want to talk about something that the self-improvement world glosses over constantly, and it drives me insane. They sell you this image of growth as a clean upward line, like you're making the mistake, you learn, you level up, and then you never look back. Transformation is then complete in their opinion. New woman is then unlocked. But that is not true. Real growth is not a line, it is a spiral. You will learn something, you will integrate it, you will relapse into old patterns, you will feel terrible about it, you will learn it again at a deeper level, do better for a while, sleep again in a different way, and keep going. And the funniest thing is that that's not failure. That is how human beings actually develop. And this is the part that I need you to hold on to. If you make the same mistake again, you forgive yourself and you try again. And if you do it again after that, you forgive yourself and you try again. Of course, not infinitely, without reflection, not without any standard, but with the understanding that you are human and humans are not built for linear perfection. And the goal is not to be perfect, the goal is to keep choosing to try. If we were perfect, this world will not be what it is. We are all in the process, every single one of us. We are not the exception to the grace that every other human being deserves. Now, chapter 6, a step-by-step process. Let's make this real. Let's, do it step by step. Step 1. Name what you've been carrying. Get very specific about it. Write down the thing, the mistake, the version of yourself, the chapter that you have been letting define you. Name it, because shame lives in the shadows and loses power in the light. You don't have to show anyone, just name it for yourself. That act alone is the beginning of releasing that shame. Step 2. Separate what you did from who you are. Draw a line mentally or on paper between the action and your identity. I did X is a fact. I am X is a story, and it is one that you have authority to rewrite. What you did happen, but who you are is still being written. Step 3. Make amends that are yours to make and then release the rest. If your mistake hurt someone, consider what genuine accountability looks like. Not groveling endlessly, not self-destruction, genuine acknowledgement, repair where possible, and commitment to doing it differently. That is the full cycle of accountability. Once you've done it, the remaining punishments that you're inflicting on yourself is optional, and you can choose to. Step 4. Audit whose judgment you've been absorbing. Think about the people whose opinion of your past you've been carrying. Ask yourself honestly, are they judging you from a place of genuine hurt that deserves consideration, or from a place of ego that you've been mistaken for some kind of moral authority? These are different things and they require different responses from you. Step 5. Build a new narrative actively. Your brain defaults to the old story unless you give it a new one. Start actively constructing the narrative of who you are now and who you are becoming. Write it, say it out loud, talk about your growth, your values, your direction. The more you rehearse the new story, the more your brain adopts it as the primary one. Step 6. When you relapse, and you might, use the 3-step return. Acknowledge it honestly. Okay, I did X again. Understand it without spiraling. Something like, okay, this is why it happened. Recommit without drama. Okay, here's what I'm going to do differently this time. That is it. No week-long shame spiral, no catastrophizing. Just acknowledge it, understand it, recommit, and be back on track. Step 7. Protect your growth from people who benefit from your smallness. Some people in your life are emotionally invested in the old version of you because the old version of you made them feel better, made them feel more powerful, made them feel more needed. As you grow, those people will sometimes try consciously or unconsciously to pull you back into who you were. It's not always malicious, but it's always something to look at. Protect your character fiercely. Not everyone deserves access to the person you are becoming. In conclusion, your past happened. I'm not asking you to pretend that you didn't. I am not asking you to skip the part where you sit with what you did and you decide to be better. I'm asking you to stop letting a chapter that you've already lived, affect one that you are about to go into. The chapter you've already learned from, you've grown from, you've decided to move beyond. Don't let it get you decide your ceiling, because the truth is that there are people who are going to change things, build things, become something remarkable. But these people are not people who never made mistakes. They are people who refuse to be buried by them. You are not your worst moment. You are not the person you were when you didn't know better. You are not the mistakes that people love to remind you of because it makes them feel okay about themselves. You are someone who is trying every day, imperfectly, fully, humanly. And as long as you are trying, as long as you are growing and learning and getting back up, no mistake in your past has the right to define you, not one. Close that chapter and go build a better one. I'll see you in the next one. If this hit somewhere that needed hitting, share it with someone who's been hard on themselves for too long. That person knows who they are. And drop it in the comments. What is one thing about your past that you're choosing to release today? Let's do it together.